Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Wayne's World of Science and Technology. Today we're going to talk a little bit about authoritarianism and why it's inefficient. People think authoritarianism is efficient because one man issues an order and everybody follows along. This is what it looks like, basically from the outside. You look at it, it's simple. Boss says do this, everybody's, he says jump, everybody says how high. But, and this is the but, it's not that. It really doesn't work that way. In a rule of law society, you do your job according to the law, and if you don't do it, the law moves in and takes action. When I say that, you could be removed from your job for lack of performance, for committing certain crimes. You know the entire thing. I mean, like, we've all seen the people who got removed from various TV shows because they were suspected of various crimes of moral turpitude. And the thing is, in a authoritarian system, that doesn't happen, because your position in an authoritarian system is based on your loyalty to the boss. Nothing else, just loyalty. And it has nothing to do with your competence. So you end up with a situation where an authoritarian leader will put someone in a position. That person may not be actually a good fit for that position or even have any capabilities in that field, but the boss trusts them. And if the boss trusts them and they're bloody incompetent, guess what happens? Things fall apart. This tends to make authoritarian regimes extremely inefficient. I know they look efficient on the outside because bosses jump, everybody says how high, but every authoritarian regime is being operated not by the people best capable of doing the job, but by the people best trusted by the boss. And bosses are going to make mistakes. Not only that, but the boss's underlings, who aren't experienced in the field and quite often have no idea what the hell they're doing, are also going to make mistakes in their hiring. Another point is that because loyalty is what matters, theft doesn't. So if you say, for example, are a general who owns a mega yacht in the Mediterranean, well, that's just the way it is. You're loyal to the boss. You're allowed to skim stuff. Until, of course, you actually get on the battlefield and find out that things don't work because too much stuff got skimmed. But at that point, the skimming tends to drop back a considerable bit. Any authoritarian regime is of necessity unstable because it's all based on loyalty to a person, not the country itself, not the people of that country. And it's a really, really bad recipe for your economy, because a lot of authoritarians hate having bad numbers presented to them. So people don't present the bad numbers because the messenger quite often gets literally shot. Well, I say literally, what I mean is fired. And might not be able to find a job after, because after all, they were bloody incompetent or the boss wouldn't have fired them, right? Authoritarian regimes are a nasty cauldron of competing interests. All countries have competing interests. In a democratic regime, the competing interests talk at the ballot box. In an authoritarian regime, the competing interests talk by the strategic use of iron poisoning, as in daggers in the back, or lead poisoning. You know what I mean by that. So authoritarian regimes, long term, are always unstable. Democratic regimes may become unstable, but they tend to be stable for longer periods of time than authoritarian regimes. If you look at most authoritarian regimes, they have this tendency to flip-flop every time there's a new leader. Democratic systems don't move as much when there's a new leader. Oh yeah, there's always a shift, because if you switch controlling parties, there's going to be different interests in control, but it generally isn't quite the same as, the difference between Maoist China and his successors, who basically rolled back damn near everything he did because what he did was really, really bad for the country and for the people. So anyway, that's it for this round. I'll be back again later with another video, and I've got a couple shorts planned. Have a good day. Like, share, subscribe, and all that guff if you got something good out of it, and we'll talk to you again later. Bye-bye.